Hey, it's Rav. Welcome to the Everyday Investor, the hottest investment show in the world. That's right, I said it. I don't care who knows it. This show is designed to help us all make money. You see, we take our precious time, we go to work, we get a paycheck in order to provide. We take our time, go to work, get paid so that we can eat. And that is a good thing. But imagine a world where money could make you money so that you could take that time and do what you want with it, whether it's spending it with family, friends, engaging in a purpose that's greater than yourself. That is what Everyday Investor is all about. That's why we bring guests on to teach us how we can make money investing, whether it's in real estate, whether it's in stocks, stock options. Remember, whenever you're asked to look at any opportunity, you always want to ask 4 questions to start. Number 1, what is the return on investment? 2, when do I get that return along with the money that I put in? If somebody says the return is 20%, but it's over 4 years, then really it's only 5% annualized. If you're happy with that, then go for it. Thirdly, you want to ask what is the minimum investment needed, and 4, you look them in their eyes and you ask them what is the risk, what is the downside. Super excited about this show. We're going to be talking to our friend. Wait for it, we'll be right back. Coming up, we talk to Jacqueline Marshall, where she teaches us how we can make money investing in the flip.
I was just so driven to be successful with it. So I did another flip, and then I did another one, and I was hooked.
The mortgage world has changed. Has your advice? Are you looking for a modern approach to your mortgage planning process? Advice tailored to your unique, ever-changing circumstances? Whether you're upsizing, downsizing, purchasing, or refinancing, the Kyle Ford Mortgage team works with individuals and companies to custom tailor the right mortgage product for you. Working with a wide selection of lenders, we're here to serve our clients and help them achieve their real estate and retirement goals. Contact the Kyle Ford Mortgage team today, Canada's mortgage choice.
Hey, it's Rav. Welcome back to Everyday Investor. Before we talk to Jacqueline and learn how we can make money flipping houses, let's go to our stocks expert, Omar Khan. Over to you, Omar.
Thanks, Rav. Omar Khan here with Beta Trading. Weekly market review. Markets were up last week, and they're almost at an all-time high. Now, what was really important last week was the Federal Reserve of the United States met. And what the conclusion of that meeting was that interest rates will be going up sometime in 2023. Now, that's really important to you real estate investors out there as well. Real estate prices may be affected, but the Federal Reserve, United States Federal Reserve, expects interest rates to go up sometime in 2023. The view so far is about 50 basis points increase, so 0.5%. Now, the stock market obviously does not like that, but it's still pushing all-time highs. Now, the reason for that is corporate earnings continue to be very strong. And the idea that inflation is maybe not going to be as bad as expected still is persisting as a viewpoint in the market. Now, the last 2 weeks of June tend to be not the best. So let's see how volatile we get. Otherwise, stock market's doing great. It doesn't do the best in the summer months. It's kind of flattish, slightly positive, normally from May to October. And that's kind of what it's exhibiting so far this year. So let's see what happens, but back over to you, Rav. Talk soon, guys. Bye-bye.
Thanks, Omar. Always great to learn from you. Miss Jacqueline Marshall. Mrs. Soon, I hear you're engaged?
Yeah.
Is that right?
But I'm not racing. I'm not making any wedding plans, so it's all good.
It's all good. No wedding plans during COVID. No, Jacqueline, we don't know each other. We've actually just met, but I know of you because there's a few friends out there and you're on their podcast. And I said, wow, this young woman owns properties, flipping homes. We've got to get her on the show. So thank you for being on the show and educating myself and our viewers. Really appreciate it.
Yeah, no, I am so grateful. And thank you for this opportunity, giving me a platform to share my story and hopefully inspire someone. So,
yeah, no, it's great. You've got, 6-7 properties in the St. Catharines area that you're holding, but you're also 6, 7, 8, flips that you've done in the last couple of years. That's really what I want to focus on is you call yourself a serial flipper, which is really, really fun. So is this a one-woman show? Do you have a team around you? Like, how did this come to fruition? Because You know, I always say that women in general, they're much more spiritual than men. But I'm starting to find as well, not that I thought differently, but they're also more savvy investors when it comes to, you know, real estate or stocks, because, you know, I think that it's very systematic. I don't really find a lot of women flipping houses though. So talk to me a little bit about that, and how did you get involved into flipping?
So when I started my real estate investing career, I was a dental hygienist, and that paycheck is what allowed me to get mortgages and secure mortgages for the rentals that I have. And when I got off the 6 doors, I had a conversation with my realtor asking him, what other options are there with real estate investing? And after that conversation, one thing that appealed to me and stood out was flipping. So I had enough cumulative passive income from the 6 rentals to kind of dial back down from my dental hygiene, because I was doing 5 days a week, 12-hour shifts. Wow. And so with my savings and the cumulative passive income, I went down to 3 days. And then I took on my first house flip 3 years ago. And it was not something that needed extensive renovations. It really benefited from cosmetic updating and things like that. So that was something that I was very comfortable taking on. There was a lot of learning curves and a lot of YouTubing and learning how to do it, but I completed it. I loved it. I loved the process. I saw the wealth that could come with it, and it was very inspiring. And I was just so driven to be successful with it. So I did another flip. And then I did another one and I was hooked. And to the point where I just walked away from hygiene altogether. And so for the past 3 years, yeah, I have been a serial house flipper, and progressively the flips got into renovations that did require me to start hiring out people that I legally couldn't do. Something like some houses, they had knob and tool. So the whole house had to be rewired. Well, I can't do that. So I would hire an electrician and get permits and things like that. And yeah, they got progressively more and more extensive with the renos.
That's very inspiring and commendable. So the 6, I'm curious. So you have the 6 properties. I mean, now you're flipping. We're going to look at a deal soon here where, you know, you made over $100,000 in a few months. And so you can use that to live while you're continuing to flip. Why hold the 6 properties giving you the cash flow? Is there you want to diversify? Is it comforting to know that there's cash flow coming in if you don't decide to flip and you want to go hang in Mexico for a few months? Like, why are you holding those 6 out of curiosity?
You know, at the time that I was, you know, procuring all of it, I didn't know a lot about real estate investing. And I really still don't know. There's still so much for me to learn, even though I've been doing this for 6 years. It just seemed like a good investment for the long term. And the flipping came with more like of a short-term gain, and also just to stretch my legs at a different option of how to get into real estate investing. And, you know, in the next year to 5 years moving forward, I'm going to be venturing into other different types and maybe stepping away from flipping. But I think there's a lot of tax advantages, and also with owning all of those properties, you know, I might be able to do a portfolio loan or things like that moving forward. So these are the discussions that I'm having with my accountant, and I'm slowly but gradually learning, like, you know, what the advantages are of being diversified in your portfolio. So yeah.
Yeah, no, it's great. No, that's not a right or wrong. I was just curious of what the reasoning is, but I mean, that's a great multiple answers, but a great answer is it's tax efficient, right? You can pull money out as they're paying down your mortgage and it goes up in value. You pull money out and you can use it for more flips or get into other things that you're thinking about doing. And so, Jacqueline, how do you come across these properties? Do you find them off market? I mean, so you've done about 8, you just closed on your 8th flip, right?
Yeah, it was March 24th. Yeah.
Yeah, and so how do you come across these 8? Were they on the MLS? Are you knocking on doors? Are you putting up, you know, ugly yellow letters saying I buy houses for cash? How did you do it?
No, I have a phenomenal realtor. I had a phenomenal real estate. I started flipping in the Niagara area, but I couldn't find anything in a price range that I was comfortable purchasing something in. So 2 years ago, I went and graduated, replanted myself into Windsor market where I could find flips that were in the price range that I was comfortable paying for. So in both areas, I found phenomenal realtors who have been so helpful and resourceful in so many ways. And yeah, so MLS, we just go and look at a house and I'm like, yes, no, yes, no.
So are these more lipstick kind of rentals or some, I mean, you mentioned the knob and tube, but generally speaking, what do you prefer, or it doesn't really matter as long as the numbers work?
As long as the numbers work, yeah. But no, Windsor has certainly been, with each over the past 3 years, and with all the flips, I've accumulated a confidence, a knowledge, an experience, and just knowing how to source a great contractor, how to talk to them, how to vet them, and all of this. So my experience has graduated from year to year, where I'm very comfortable taking on something that I'm going to knock these walls down now. I'm going to beat up the foundation and put in a rough in for another bathroom. Like, I feel comfortable taking these things on now, but I just started very slow. I started with lipstick and then graduated to what I do in Windsor now, which is, yeah.
No, that's great. And so you have a team, you have a contractor, correct?
Yep.
But
I do a lot of the work myself. I do the vast majority. I do 90% of the work. I stay in my flips and I reside there or stay there. And I do 90% of the work. And then when it comes to things like if it needs a new roof, I have my roofer. I have my go-to roofer in Windsor. The same thing with if I need electrical, I have Neil, my electrician, if I need any electrical work done. Sometimes it's really extensive. And sometimes the electrical work is just, maybe putting in a dishwasher. Maybe I bought a house that never had a dishwasher. So the wiring has to be put in and, taken to the box, right? Yeah. So yeah, I have my go-to people to do the things I just can't do.
And so I'm sure people are watching this, and especially when we look at the numbers here, I mean, you're buying and they are all, 8 of them kind of in the $200,000 to $300,000 range?
Yes. So when I bought my flips, I've never purchased a flip more than $180,000. And then the resale price is always around a $300,000 mark, give or take. Yep. Phenomenal.
So, I'm sure all the viewers watching, including yours truly, may want a piece of that. Are you accepting joint venture money to be able to do it, or you're good on your own right now?
I'm good on my own right now, but thank you. But yeah, no, moving forward, absolutely. I see now for scalability, if you really want to diverse and scalability and, the world is, limitless, with this. JVing and creative financing, that is definitely something I'm learning about and very open to, moving forward. Yep.
So you live, where do you live?
So my home base.
Yeah, your home base.
Yeah, my home base is here in Waterloo, but there's a commute, between Waterloo and Windsor. So when I have a flip on the go, I reside there, I stay there, and then I come home maybe every second weekend and just, get out of the dust and all the plaster and get a break from it.
And because there's might come a time where you find a couple of crews and you're doing 2 or 3 flips at the same time, right? It doesn't necessarily have to be one at a time. No, Jacqueline, it's great. It's again, like I said, it's very inspiring. Thanks for being on the show. Let's take a quick break and then we'll go through some numbers just on your most recent one. We're talking to Jacqueline Marshall. We're learning how to make money investing in the flip. Don't go anywhere. Everyday Investor continues in a moment.
At Theta Training, our goal is to help you achieve financial freedom by teaching you the foundations of trading stock options. Join our growing community. Learn through our live-streamed weekend course, or develop your skills at your own pace online. Understand how the stock market works and how you can use the options market to earn additional income. Achieve financial freedom and live life on your terms. Let us help you build your empire.
Hey, it's Rav. Welcome back to Everyday Investor. We're talking to our friend Jacqueline, learning how we can make money in the flip. Before we continue that conversation, look at some numbers. Let's speak to our mortgage expert, Kyle Ford. Over to you, Kyle.
Thanks, Rav. This week I want to talk about porting your mortgage. Many lenders allow you to take an existing mortgage on a property when you sell it and port it to the new property when you purchase it. Some very important things that you need to know. When it comes to porting a mortgage, the lender must not only approve the new property, they're also going to review your current financial situation and make sure you still qualify for the existing mortgage. As long as they approve the new property and your financial situation is still adequate to support your existing mortgage, you will be able to port it to the new property. Now, just because you can port a mortgage doesn't mean you should. Just like I spoke about on many other occasions, we want to be reviewing our financial situation and making sure our existing mortgage aligns well with both our short and long-term goals, making sure that that mortgage is still the best solution. Yes, it may mean paying a penalty versus porting the mortgage, but that may be the best situation for you at the time. As always, myself and the Kyle Ford Mortgage team are here to help. Thanks, and back to you, Rav.
Thanks, Kyle. Always great to learn from you. So, Jacqueline, here we are learning how we can make money in the flip. You're on your 8th one, and you're going to continue, and because I know you're going to do other things. What other things are you talking about? Are you talking about apartment buildings, multiplexes, multifamily, that kind of thing?
Mm-hmm. Multifamily is what I want to tackle next in the upcoming year. I'm going to do a few more flips. And yeah, multifamily is something that's really grabbing my interest. And because I have 6 years of experience of being a landlady, and I have a lot of systems and processes in place that I've learned, I feel very confident now taking on or inheriting like maybe 5 tenants or 12 tenants or 16 tenants at a time. So yeah.
Nice, love it. Okay, let's look at one of your deals here. So this particular deal is purchased where?
It was in Windsor, Ontario.
So this is in Windsor. And what did we buy there?
We bought a 1-story home, no garage, fully detached.
How many bedrooms?
3 bed, 1 bath, crawl space. So it didn't even have, it had no basement. It just had a crawl space.
Okay, and what did we buy this for?
$180,000.
$180,000. Okay, and right off the get-go, is that market value for a 3-bedroom, 1 bath? Or were you able to buy it a little bit below?
No, that was market value. That is pretty much what fixer-uppers, give or take, are going for in that area in Windsor right now. Yep. And
Jacqueline, how, I'm here in Toronto. I can see what's happening in Windsor through the MLS system or so on and so forth. But, I wouldn't do something like this because I don't necessarily know the area. How important is it for you to know the area, to know that if you put, $20,000, $30,000, $50,000 in, you can lift it by this much? I mean, talk to the viewers a little bit about that. It's not like, hey, Kappas casing is cheap, so we should do a flip up there. You kind of need to know where you're investing, wouldn't you say?
Absolutely. I mean, you have to, be familiar with the area, the market, the comps. I also was looking at the migration of, people with COVID. I was looking at the migration of people from Toronto and big cities, and they were migrating to, an area like Windsor. And because there were so many more people working from home now. And so, and I was just seeing the migration of people leaving condos in Toronto and coming to places like London or Woodbridge or Windsor or Chatham and things like that. So I knew that it was going to work, and plus it wasn't my first flip in Windsor. So I was very familiar with the areas and having done that for the past 2 years. And also when I was renovating, what I kept in mind for this flip was, I made sure that every room had a flex space, because I kept in mind that is working from home your new reality for the next couple of years. And so I tried to keep those things that help with my design decisions and things like that. So, and people found that when they came in, they found that in that
Yeah,
house.
no. I mean, I just don't want people to think, anyone can do this. Yeah, anyone can do this if you're willing to do the work that Jacqueline's doing. I mean, from where you live, Waterloo to Windsor, how far is the drive? How far is it?
Almost 3 hours.
So 3 hours. So you're going 3 hours away. You're doing your homework in that area. You're living there. Yeah, it's very attractive to make over $100,000 in 4 or 5 months. But there's a cost to it. There's a price that you're paying. And again, it's inspiring that you're willing to do that kind of work. So $180,000 is what we bought this for. And when did we purchase this? When did we close on it?
I don't recall the date offhand, but it was in October.
Of 2020?
2020, yeah.
2020, okay. So this is right in the fall of COVID.
Yep.
And, okay, so we bought this for $180,000 and what did it need? And what do you look for? What are kind of the top 2, 3, 4 things to make this property, of better use, highest and better use? What does Jacqueline look for when she goes into a property?
So I have a set budget and I won't go over my budget. So when I look into a home, I go into a prospective flip. I look at, okay, what can I do and what do I have to hire people to do? And if what I have to hire people to do exceeds an amount that doesn't leave me enough left over to do what I can do to keep me under budget, I just walk away. So with this particular house, just given the neighborhood and things like that, it was going to benefit a lot from cosmetics, all things that I can do. I don't have to hire people. It needed a new roof. There was no, because it had a crawl space, there was no opportunity to put a second bathroom. So I knew that wasn't going to happen. I wasn't going to have to go through that expense. It needed a very low electrical updating. It was the electrical bill came to $1,500. And actually, he gave me a deal because I'm a repeat customer with him. So that was the 4th time I'd used him. So he cut a little bit off. But yeah, that's what I look for. I just look for what I can do and what
the numbers,
I have to hire
the
people
numbers
to
work.
do.
Yeah. Okay, great. All right. So let's break this down. So we bought this property for $180K, and then closing costs was how much?
The lawyers and things like that, land transfer tax, $3,000.
$3K. So a little cheaper than downtown Toronto.
Yeah.
And then your reno cost was?
So the reno and the carrying costs came to $30,000.
$30,000.
Yep.
And was there a down payment on this, or you bought it straight cash?
I bought it straight cash, good old fashioned cash.
I like your style. Okay, so we bought that for cash. Is there any other expenses, closing costs, renos, $33,000, anything else?
Nope.
Okay, so $33K there. So we are in for, what's that, 213?
Yep.
So we're in for $213,000. And how long did it take for you to be done and sell?
Approximately 5 months.
5 months. Okay, so in 5 months, you sold this property for how much?
3,020.
320,000?
Yep.
320K. Wow. So you are in for 213 and you sold this for $320,000. You made what? What's that? 107?
107, yeah. Profit.
You made $107,000. Of course, maybe you put a for sale sign on and sold it yourself, or you might have some, some fees there associated. But basically, Jacqueline, you're saying that you made over $100,000, 5 months. And is this typical? I mean, you've done 8 of them now. Is this kind of the typical numbers that you're looking at?
Yes, that is the most I think I've made off of one flip, but generally it's around 80, 90 is what I make. Yeah.
And it usually takes 4 or 5 months?
The longest I've held onto a flip was 8 months. Yeah.
And what's the shortest?
3 or 4 months, but that was just pure cosmetic. I didn't have to have a new roof. I didn't have to have new windows. I didn't have to do any electrical. And it was just basically like, okay, was I willing to put in 14 or 15-hour days to get all this cosmetic work done and then get it back up on the lawn, the for sale sign back up on the lawn. So, yeah.
I mean, you must do a really good job. I mean, 180 and you only put in 30, but you're able to sell it for 320. I mean, is this just what the market is doing, or is it a bit of an anomaly and, you know, in a month or two you won't be able to do it again? I mean, what's happening there in the Windsor market?
I think it was a bit of both. I mean, the market was really, really hot. I mean, I had this house sold in less than 24 hours. It hit MLS, the for sale sign is up on the lawn, and with less than 24 hours, I had a bidding war going on. It was bought sight on scene, cash, no conditions, everything. And I had a bidding war going on, and all the buyers were from the Toronto area. So, yeah.
And so that's interesting. And so it's an end user that bought it, or did somebody buy it for investment purposes, just want to park their money? What was it?
No, it was people who they had sold their respective property or condo in Toronto. They were working from home for the foreseeable future, and they just wanted to be in a nice renovated place that had a backyard and, you know, just room for entertaining and things like that. So cost of living came down for them.
That's fantastic. So you're going to take the next year or two and continue to flip, or you're done with the flips and moving into multifamily?
I'm going to flip until I find an apartment, multifamily building where the numbers work. And so until then, I'm going to keep flipping. Yeah, I love it. I love flipping. I love it. It's my passion.
Listen, I don't do it and I love it. And the reason why I love it is, unlike most of my friends, including you, I just don't want to be a landlord. I don't, you know, just psychologically, even if it's turnkey, even if I have a property manager, I have to manage the property manager. So flipping is so attractive because, you know, it's kind of like I would never want to be on a TV series. I'd rather make a film because I'm in and out in 3 months, as opposed to if I was on a TV series 12 hours a day for the rest of my life. In the same way, that's the way I look at landlording. And I used to be. Then I got rid of my properties, and I think flipping is very attractive. I'd rather write a check for $30,000 to a Jacqueline. So don't forget little old Rav if that ever comes into play. Jacqueline, thank you so much for being on the show. Before I let you go, what would you say to the viewers within, you know, a minute or so? What would you say to the viewers who want to get into real estate investing, not necessarily flipping, but just their own little turnkey property, but they're just afraid to kind of make the same, you know, the first step? How did you get across your hurdle? Because, you know, once you do one, now it's addictive and you want to continue and it's a lot of fun. So what would you say to that person just in closing here?
Don't be opposed to networking. You know, some of the most successful people are extremely well connected. So don't be opposed to that. It's you can't be an island, you know, and don't think that you have to have everything figured out to start or be successful. Like, you have to be in the game to learn the game. And then once you're in the game, just keep curating and networking, you know, knowledge, processes, systems, listen to podcasts, listen to Rav and learn, and just go for it. Just go for it. You'll make mistakes, but so what? You know, you'll pivot from that. You'll stand up on, you know, and keep going.
Wise words. Jacqueline, thank you so much for being on the show. Thank you so much. Thank you. And thank you guys for watching. Without you, we would not have a show. Make sure you tune in next week. Same place, same time. Honey, I love you. I'll be home soon. Thanks for watching, everyone.